All right, let's take a look at some other useful reactions that we can use with these benzene rings and substituted benzene rings. So remember back from CHEM1, if you have an alkene, if you add some potassium permanganate and some heat, you can oxidize this into carboxylic acids, right? And so we can do similar things with our benzene ring, but we don't actually even need the double bond there, right? So if you had a straight alkyl chain and you added some potassium permanganate in some water with some heat, and then followed it up by just an acidic workup to reprotonate the carboxylic acid, you'll form your benzoic acid, right? Your carboxylic acid on the benzene ring. Note that this alkyl halide has to be a primary or secondary alkyl halide. If you try to do that with a tertiary alkyl halide, you're not going to get any reaction, right? So you have to have at least some hydrogens there. Think back to the alkenes again. If you add some NDS and some UV light, you can brominate your alkene. We can do a similar thing with our benzene rings, right? If we add some NDS here, we will brominate, but we will only brominate the benzylic position, right? So only right next to the benzene ring. And depending on how much you use, you can singly add one bromine, or you can add a whole lot of NBS. And then you can add multiple bromines, right? So you could add, in this case, maybe 3. Another useful reaction is, as we've seen, we can have our acyl halides. What we can do is we can add some H2 and palladium, and we can reduce that down, right, to just our alkyl chain. You have to be careful. This is a reduction reaction, so you'll actually reduce your nitro groups to amines as well. So just something to keep attention to. Note that this H2 and palladium will only reduce these ketones when they're in the benzylic position. If they're not in the benzylic position, for example, this aldehyde right here, you will not reduce that aldehyde. You will reduce, of course, the alkene into an alkane, as we've seen plenty of times before. So just some additional reactions to keep in mind.